is stick with the original date and go from 2 to 5. So we can do it with the Mac interface in front of you. So if that works for both of you, and if it doesn't, we'll find another date and time. But it makes all kinds of sense with these initial classes to make sure that you're seeing the interface that you have. So that would put us on the 23rd, which is Tuesday again, from 2 to 5 of March. And then the 27th of April from 2 to 5. And again, I know you signed up for the time that you have, the original time. So if that doesn't work, let me know.
I'm retired. Any time works for me.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
Not too early though.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, I'll teach PCs from 10 to 1, and then we'll do Mac from 2 to 5. So that'll give me a little break with my voice in between.
That works for me too, since they're on Tuesday, and Tuesday is garbage day here. So I'm always trying to get as much out as possible. And
Sounds good. Sounds good.
just for a warning, I have a little dog. So if some of her friends walk by, she'll go off.
Excited. Okay.
Yeah,
No worries.
She's harmless. She's a Yorkie.
I miss our dog. We lost ours a year ago, kind of at the beginning of COVID. And it's just, they're just delightful to have. That's for sure.
Oh, she's kept me sane.
I bet.
We have a cat, and our cat will do the same thing. She won't bark, but you can hear her just thumping through the house, or going to the window and thumping on the glass. So
Yep.
Well, I live in a split level, and her usual spot is this end to the garage. And if she's this and up the stairs, and if the bedroom door is open, she's in there. But
okay. All right. Very good. Barb, what is your background? You have used 3D, maybe? You said you had previous versions of the Premiere software, or no?
Yeah. I don't remember what number it was.
Okay.
2. No, I don't remember.
Okay.
And I did take a class at Joanne's in Dublin. Okay. But then I forgot.
That's fair.
And I had a slight stroke about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, and my memory's not real good.
Okay, well, this will be good for you then, because it'll get that brain engaged, that's for sure. So Barb, you've got an icon, and Joe, you have a what? What are you stitching on?
You mean my sewing machine?
Yeah.
It's a Bernina 790 Plus.
Okay. The reason I ask is because when we get to the point after we've done some design work in the software, you will each export to a different design, different file extension. So when we export designs, I like to think of it as running it through the translator. So maybe we're designing in English, but we need it to be exported in French so that the machine can read it. Mm-hmm. So Barb will be exporting in a VP3 file format, and Joe, you'll be exporting in a PES format, and we'll get to that. But it's always helpful for me to know what versions I've got out there, so that I'm sure to make sure that you guys can export. With the PES, sometimes there's an extra step. Not a big deal, not hard, but I want to make sure I hit it hard so that you're comfortable and can stitch out. So our project for today, after we do some of the basics, is this.
That's really pretty.
And it's backwards for you guys. I didn't get it mirrored, but it's just a little tea towel. And we're going to play in the designs that you own. You own tons and tons and tons of designs by buying the Premiere software. I should know the number, but it's amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. My friend and I, when we first got it, said we never have to buy another design ever, which of course that's not true, but it could be.
I used to get them from Embroidery Library.
They're very nice.
And I've got tons of them downstairs. I've got some on those little discs.
The floppy?
The original discs.
Do you have a way to convert those and get them into your machine? Do you have a disc reader?
No.
Okay. All right, they're out there. You can get them, and then you can import those into your software.
Well, they're probably mostly baby, because I did a lot of
Okay.
embroidery things for my granddaughter. My son wouldn't let me do anything for my grandson.
It's always a challenge to find the designs for the boys, but it's
For the
getting better
boys.
and better.
Yeah.
For sure. So, okay, so my plan for today is to help you learn the navigation as far as on your screens and that sort of thing. And what we'll do is I'll share mine with you so you can see, and then it'll take over your computer, just so you know. I mean, not take over, I can't make any changes, but it'll overlay what you're seeing. And then
Right.
I'll have you do it with your own software so that you get a chance to do the steps. We'll go back and forth. And so I will be doing a share screen. And one of the very first things I want to check with both of you, in your doc, do you have Premiere and Configure down there? I'm going to guess not. I'm going to guess you have.
Yes.
You do.
Here
Awesome.
to configure, yes.
Okay. How about you, Joe?
Well, on my, let's see. I don't know what you call it. Or it has a name, but where it has all your programs, I can click onto Premiere, and then I have a launch.
Launchpad?
Yeah, this little rocket. And so I can click on that and get to configure.
Okay, excellent. So you have played a little bit. You kind of know where you're going.
Right.
I'm going to share my screen. Let me get to where I can do that. And I'm going to show you a couple of things in the configure screen. We're on page 1 right now of the little handout that I sent you.
Okay.
And let's see here. All right, so you should now be able to see my whole screen with my very messy desktop. And
better than mine.
well, I've done a lot of screenshots so that I could put stuff in your handouts, and that's kind of a mess everywhere. But if you see down here at the bottom, if you follow my cursor, you see that I have Configure in the dock, and I also have Premiere in the dock. Okay. Now, to your point, Joe, you said you can get to yours from Launchpad, which is here.
Right.
So either way, I'm going to show you a couple of things about Configure.
Well, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Would it be better to, because I was able to, I don't know how, but I drug the icon onto my, whatever you call that strip.
It's the dock, yes.
Dock. Is it a good idea to put Configure right next to it then?
I would.
Okay.
I would. Eventually. I mean, you don't have to do it right this minute, but I definitely would, because there are times when you want to get into Configure when you're in Premiere, and that way you can just bump down to the bottom and get after it.
Okay.
So I'm going to open Configure right now, and I want to look at a couple of things on this screen. Notice there are tabs across the top. We've got Utilities, Appearance, Import, Export, and Connection. On the Utilities screen, this light bulb is super, super, super important. And what that is used for is to update your software. So even though you just installed brand new software, there are updates out there because it's been sitting in the box for however long. So they make corrections all the time. They'll add sample embroidery designs. They'll add some of the super designs. So you want to do a smart update at least once a month, and it'll look like you're logging back in to activate, but it'll show you a list of any updates that are available, and you'll want to run them. Now, when you do run them, sometimes they require interaction. I had a gal call me one day and she goes, I keep trying to update my machine or my computer. And I said, well, what's going on? She said, well, when it asks me if I want to let it make changes to my computer, I tell it no. And I said, well, you have to say yes, because it's going to put new stuff on there. And she was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So it is a little bit interactive. You can't just totally walk away and let it run. And depending on your internet speed, it'll, Might take you a little bit longer. It might be super quick. We live out in the boonies. I get a whopping 25 megabits per second, whether I like it or not. And actually it's worked for streaming, so we're good. The second icon on this screen that is very important for class is I will almost always ask you to reset all apps before we start. And that's why I wanted to go here first. I am going to click that. I didn't want to do the smart update because I don't want to update and waste your time right now. But if I click on reset all apps, it'll reset all the applications back to the defaults. And it'll tell you if you've got Premiere already open. I don't have Premiere open intentionally right now, but it would allow me to quit Premiere and reset all apps if I needed to. The reason we do this is because sometimes you'll have made changes to your configuration and we get into class and people go, I'm not seeing what you're seeing. So once you learn how to configure it the way you want it, you want to jot that down before class just so you remember to go back and change it back. So Smart Update and Reset All Apps are the two on the utility screen that are important. The next one is the next tab over, and this is the only other one we're going to do today, is the Appearance tab. So, and I'm going to let you look at these on your own in just a second. The Appearance tab allows you to set the background color, what kind of texture you want, your grid color, so those can be changed. If that light blue, if you're doing something that's all in white and you need a more intense background, you can change it. And remember, I always used to be afraid to change it because I wanted to be able to get the original back. Well, if you reset all apps, you'll get it back. But here's the important piece right here. This real size looks like a ruler, okay? And mine says it's 26 millimeters right now. We do work in millimeters when we're embroidering. We quilt in inches and we embroider in millimeters because we can be more precise when we're with millimeters. We can really get things accurately set. But you're going to want to, after class or sometime in the near future, find a ruler that has millimeters on it and measure this. And then put that measurement in here. Because everybody's screen resolution is different. And if you will set this, then if you print out a template of what you're getting ready to stitch, it will be the exact size. And you
is it different from computer to computer?
It is. It
Okay.
is. You'll want to set that if you have it loaded on your laptop and your desktop, you'll want to set it both places. Okay. And like I say, you can print out a template, like especially if I'm trying to like stitch something on a shirt for someone. If I print out the design, I can literally place it on the shirt and then hoop it and have it land exactly where I want it to land, the exact size that I want. So that is
I'm not that professional. If it's in the middle, it's good enough.
I understand. I understand. Okay, so I'm going to close that and I want to come back over here. Let me get my cursor and let you take a look. So you want to go to Smart Update. Or I'm sorry, don't Smart Update today. You want to go to Configuration and you want to reset all apps so that we're all in the same place.
Reset all apps.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Premiere Plus appears to be running.
Okay, so the bottom left button in that window says quit Premiere and reset all apps, correct?
You'll click that one?
Yes, ma'am.
So you don't really see anything happening. You just click it.
That's correct.
Thank you for asking that.
Feel free.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and look at your Appearance tab, just so you know how to get there.
Actually, I tried to measure that last night, and I had to use a magnifying glass because, you know, millimeters are so small.
They are small.
And I'm trying to measure it, and it's like, whoa. So I had to get a magnifying glass to figure it out. So I was afraid to change it, though, because I wanted to wait. But I know what mine is. Should I go ahead and change it now?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Go for it. we have trouble on a lot of the PCs. And I haven't looked at new Macs for a while, but most of the PCs are touch screens now. Try to measure that thing without touching it.
Oh, wow.
And then
Oh,
you have things
great.
happening. It's like, oh.
Now,
And I have a twittery hand. My hand shakes. You should see me trying to get some stuff.
I bet. Well, the next time you have a grandkid over, have them measure that for you.
Okay.
When all else fails, ask a kid. They get it done and nothing.
Yeah.
They might do other things too. You got to keep an eye on them.
Well, one is 19 and the other one's 21. So
All right. Yeah,
they're
you're
pretty
in good
safe.
shape. Yep. Yep. You've got your tech people for you. Okay.
Speaking of grandkids, can I brag just briefly?
Sure.
My grandson plays baseball at Ohio State.
Oh, nice.
He's a freshman at Ohio State and he's on the baseball team.
Oh, that's very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Proud of
You
him.
can close your configuration now. We've looked at utilities and we've looked at appearance, and that's all we're going to look at in there today.
Just hit the red.
The
thing,
red dot in the upper left-hand corner. That is correct.
It's not doing it. Reset all apps. Okay. Oh, it's gone. Okay.
Okay.
Now where?
You can just close that window, and I'm going to share my screen again.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay.
All right. All right. So we're back to sharing screen. And so I am going to go down here in my dock. I love having the icons in the dock because it's what I use. So I'm going to open Premiere Plus. And there is our embroidery window. Okay. So let's take a little tour of the window. If you look way up at the tippy top, we've got our apple, like always, Premiere +2 embroidery. If I click on that, I can find out what version I'm running. I can set preferences should I choose to. I can go to services, which would be like your settings in your Mac. I don't mess with that.
Okay.
I can hide it or I can quit. I'm going to click on preferences. And that brings down a little window. It took me forever to find this on the Mac because I grew up in PC on Premiere. So it took me a little bit of time to find this. But this is where you can change your grid size if you want to. It says there's a check mark here for remove overlap when combining embroideries, which is great. If I lay a sun on top of a cloud, it'll take the embroidery of the cloud out from underneath where that sun goes. So that's a nice thing so I don't get extra thick. And then there's some applique information. Sometimes when you're trying to really, really precisely position something, you might want to make the grid size smaller so you can really accurately get something in where you want it to. We typically work in 10 millimeters, but it is changeable. I'm going to close that. Now remember, we got to there from Premiere +2 embroidery from the words up here. When you see the words, you kind of think, oh, well, that's just a label for where I am, but you can change some preferences in there. The next tab, if you will, I like to call these tabs over, is File. And if I click on File, I can open a new window. I can open existing. I can open something recent. I can insert a design. This is really nice. I don't know if you remember, Barb, but in the old embroidery software, if you brought in a new design, it obliterated the other one. So you had to do all sorts of copying and gymnastics. Whereas now I can bring in 6 or 7 designs and make them all one. I can close from here. I can save. I can duplicate. I can rename. So if I have created something for one grandkid that has the name Chris on it, and I want to go back into that same file and make the same exact thing, but I want to change the name and I want it to be for Dan, I can rename it and then I've got both of them. I can move, I can revert, I can do stuff with applique, decoration, I can print. This is really, really cool because when you print, it will give you all sort, and I don't have a design in here right now, so I'm not going to click it right now, but You can get like your color chart, you can get a printout of the design, all sorts of information. And for you, Barb.
That's what I was wondering about.
Yes, yes, especially when you design something, because when you buy a design, there's a PDF that tells you how to stitch the thing out and it's got all the colors. But when you design something, you go, well, wait, whoa, what colors am I using? And when you print, you get all that. You can also send to your machine through the cloud, which with the icon you can do. But that's a whole nother topic.
I wondered if I could do it, so I'm glad to see that.
Yes, definitely. Okay, the next tab over is edit. And notice on my screen, almost everything's grayed out right now because I don't have a design on the screen, but I can undo, redo, cut, copy, paste. We're going to do a lot of this. We can resize. We can do all sorts of things. I can change the hoop from here if I want to. The view tab, the grid is on right now. Every once in a while, you don't want the grid. You want it to get out of your way. So you can actually turn it off from here if you like.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're gonna learn all sorts of things, aren't you?
I don't know. Well, that would work with a regular design, not with writing fonts and stuff, but it would work with the birds or something. Okay.
Sure. The design tab is where we go to combine designs. We can rotate from here. We can color sort. We're going to do color sorts and combines today. We can modify our design and we can get all sorts of alignment where the computer will line stuff up for us.
What is restrict groups?
Restrict groups is if I bring in a bunch of different designs and I've got them grouped, and then I say, ooh, I want to make a change to one of the three. I can restrict the groups and it'll let me at the individual design.
Okay.
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 And I can also change the layout order. So sometimes you want the fence to be on top of the tree. You don't want the fence to be behind the tree. So layout order, I can change what order my things are going to stitch out.
Wow.
Assistants. We have, they've been called wizards in the PC version. They're called assistants here. So we have express monograms. So you can create a monogram. It'll let you do it very, very quickly. You can take artwork and turn it into stitches. That's your express design. Joe wants to do that. I saw the smile. We've got photo stitch where we can take a photo and turn it into stitches. Word sculpt. What word sculpt means is I can put the shape of a coffee cup on there and then put every word. It'll help me put all the words. I can type in the words and it'll fill that cup with all words about coffee, beans, Java, Joe, all that kind of stuff. Quilt block assistant will allow me to create quilting stitches in a design around an applique, quilting stitches as their own standalone item. I've got a family tree assistant, a project in the hoop assistant, which means I can make an entire project in the hoop, which this is, I'm sharing screen. I'll show you one in a minute. I've got a key ring that was created, key tag that was created in the hoop. And then split projects. Sometimes you've got something really big that you want to stitch out and you need to stitch it in multiple hoopings. Well, split project will help you do that. Okay.
So I have all this stuff too.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna let you look at it in just a minute, I promise. Window, you can change your view in here. I don't do a lot with the window. However, every once in a while, we've all done it. I do want to show you this. Every once in a while, we'll hit that green dot. And now all my tabs went away, unless I go up there and bump. And it's really annoying that you can't see those tabs. So
is there any way you can keep that down permanently? Yeah,
watch. You go to window and you go to zoom. And now they're back. Whoop, no, they're not. Come back here. No, oh, shucks. Now, wait a minute. I did this earlier.
Maybe if you bring it all to the front or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, I wondered what that meant.
No, shoot.
See, this is what happens to me, and it's turned me into a big chicken.
There we go. I just hit that green dot there, the green, and brought it back. Now they're back. Now
Okay.
they're back. Okay. And then help, of course, you can, there's a learning center, keyboard shortcuts, all sorts of things over here. What I do want to show you very, very quickly before I give you back your own screen is remember those assistants. We had Monogram, Express Design, Photo Stitch, Word Sculpt. That is also right here. See the lightning bolt on my screen that says assistants?
Mhm.
So if I click that drop down, it's exactly the same as the assistants that are up here in the tab bar. Okay.
Cool.
All the same information. So I usually tell everybody we can all be at Quilt Beginnings and decide we want to go to Grandview, and we can all get in our cars and we can all go to Grandview via a different route, and we can go however we're most comfortable. So whatever you find that works for you in the software, feel free to use it. I will often show you more than one way in class because everybody learns differently and everybody likes to use different things. But I do want you to know that it doesn't make a bit of difference if I use those assistants or if I use these assistants. They're exactly the same. It's just a different way to get there. Okay.
My problem is I get somewhere and then I don't know how to get back. Like,
Mine too.
It's called undo, and I'm going to show you where that key is.
oh, great.
Secondly, remember file where we can save, open, export, do all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, actions has all those same things as well. So file and actions are the same information or the same icons to get to various places, and assistants are the same. Okay. All right. So let me let you take a look at yours to make sure it all looks the same. Okay, so if you bring up your Premiere Plus 2, if you look across the very tippy top, you should see all of those same tabs that we saw when we were in
Premiere +2 embroidery.
Uh-huh.
Come on. There it is.
So the Premiere +2 embroidery words should be at the top next to your apple. And then you've got file, edit, view, design, assistance, window, and help.
Yep.
Okay. And if you click on any one of those, it'll give you a drop down menu, which would allow you to do a variety of different things on whichever one. And then if you want those drop downs to go away, just click somewhere in your hoop and you're back to just tabs.
Okay.
All right. And if you click on the assistants, the lightning bolt drop down, you'll see that all of your assistants are there.
The endless assistant is not.
It's grayed out because there's no design. There's no way
to
to endlessly assist you with anything because all we have is a grid right now.
Okay.
Good catch. Good catch. I like it. And then actions, you'll notice almost everything is grayed out because there just isn't anything here right now. We haven't put anything in.
Right.
Okay. As you're looking at your screen, let's go ahead and talk about what else is across the top of the screen. Mm-hmm. So assistants and actions are both there. The next thing over is my Sonnet. So Barb, yay, that'll be for you. And actually, Joe, you as well. You can't send to the machine, but you can actually, you could be on the road and create a design and store it in my Sonnet, which is the cloud. And then you could retrieve that by logging into my Sonnet anywhere. So you could stitch on somebody else's machine if you were visiting a friend in Florida with a design that you had stored in MySewNet, and you wouldn't have to take a USB drive with you. So it's a cloud-based storage. It's also a way to communicate with the machine.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't really understand. I mean,
I know, and the way the original user classes were written, we just kind of went through a lot of this stuff and we didn't do anything. So we're going to do a project today. We won't necessarily use everything that we're seeing, but we're going to do a project because I feel like you learn so much better when you're doing an actual, a real deal sort of thing. So the next thing over next to MySewNet, I'm going to leave you in your screen so you can see this, is our Zoom tools. And that allows us to make it bigger on the screen, like the design, so that we can play with it and look at it and that sort of thing. And there are a couple ways to do that. We can plus to scroll in, we can minus to scroll out. We can grab this little magnifying glass and drag a rectangle, pardon me, around the piece of the design that we really want up close and personal. And then the next one over, if you hover, and as you hover over these, you'll see that a little pop-up tells you what it is. Zoom to fit. So to your point, Barb, sometimes you get in somewhere and you go, okay, I got it really big. Now I want to see the whole thing. Well, zoom to fit will put it back to normal size on the screen.
Which one is, okay, I found it.
Like the double plus arrow kind of thing.
Yeah.
You've got a zoom slider also, so you can drag that back and forth to make the screen, what's on the screen bigger or smaller. Then we've got some select.
I make quilt labels for a friend, and it'll say a gift for Lisa from Grandma or Frida or whatever. And she said the last time I talked to her that she would like them a little bigger.
Oh, okay, that is not this.
That's not this. Okay.
That is not this at all. This is simply changing the view on the screen. Now we're going to get down the road here on this ribbon and you're going to see where you can change sizes. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So over here next to Zoom slider, these are select tools. They're all grayed out right now because we don't have a design. Then we have select mode, then group. You asked about restrict group and grouping, so we can group things together and we can break those groups apart. The next one over is what you're asking about right now, Barb. Okay. Resize. When I turn on resize, it will change the stitch count to accommodate the new size. So in other words,
that was my question. Am I going to resize it and then it's going to be poorly stitched?
Right. No, the software will compensate. And so if you make it bigger, it will add more stitches. If you make it smaller, and this I think is even more important than when you make it bigger, it will compensate and take stitches out of it. Because sometimes if you take a really big design and you make it really small, you now have a bulletproof patch and broken needles.
Yes.
So.
Okay, great.
Resize is super important. Here's your hoop next to it. Next to resize is hoop. And that's how you change your hoop size. We can change our background. We can change our view mode. There's 3D. There's 3D with a box around it, which means it's showing you the hoop. If you go to just 3D, the hoop will go away. And 2D will take all of the grid and hoop out of the background for you. Okay. And then preview, we can actually play the design to see what order it's going to stitch out in. That's the green arrow. The little circle-y thing is life view. And so that will show it to you as an actual embroidery rather than being on a grid and having all that sort of thing. Okay. And then we've got a control panel over there. Okay. So
what's on the control panel?
See how it says design and there's information under it, underneath that? Do you see that little window that's, or not little, it's the whole length of your screen on the right hand side. That's the panel.
Okay.
Okay. So at the very, I also sent you at the very, well, I guess it wouldn't be at the back because I sent them as 3 handouts, but I sent you a copy of the Premier Plus 2 embroidery window, and the toolbar is what we just looked at. We had the menu bar, they call it the menu bar, where file, tab, edit, or I'm sorry, file, edit, view, design assistance is. And then the toolbar is where your assistance, actions, zoom, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Okay. The work area is the area inside the hoop.
Mm-hmm.
And the control panel is what you just asked about.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And so the other sheet kind of tells you what the different groups of icons on the toolbar will do. Okay. So I sent those.
Wait, there it is. Okay.
So that's just kind of a quick reference when you go away for a week and you come back and you go,
Yeah.
what's that do? So you might find that helpful.
I love your cheat sheet.
I'm all about the cheat sheets. I love them.
I love them.
All right, I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to get started doing some design work here because you've got this software. You might as well be able to do something with it, right?
Right.
Okay. So I
There's one.
have my screen back up in front of you, and we are on page 3 of my handout. And I'm in Premiere Plus 2 Ultra. And now I am going to change my hoop size. So I'm coming up here in the toolbar to hoop, which is about 3/4 of the way to the right. I'm going to click on hoop, and it brings down a hoop window for me. So typically in class for the brand, we will always use universal so that we're all designing in the same size. I do want to show you though that we have all different brands in here. So you can choose Bernina, you can choose Viking, you can choose Pfaff. So Pfaff and Bernina are your two.
Are they interchangeable? The Husqvarna and Pfaff?
Yes.
Okay.
They are same company, different.
That's good.
Different wrappers.
Yeah.
All right. So brand, we use universal again, just so that no matter what machine anybody has, we're working in the same size hoop. For the machine group, if I click on that, it gives me the different sizes of universal hoops. And for some reason, my fingers are cold this morning. There we go. I can't scroll. So today's hoop is going to be a 150 by 150 hoop. So I'm going to click on that universal square hoop. Notice I then have the options for orientation. So natural orientation means it will be in the orientation that it will go into the sewing machine. So with a 150 by 150, it really doesn't matter because it's square. But if I have an oblong hoop, I want to choose whether I want it to be vertical, which is natural, or rotated, which is horizontal.
And you might rotated is what?
Horizontal.
Okay.
So it would make it wider than it is tall. Okay. So if you're doing like an embroidery on a towel, and maybe you're going to do a wide, I don't have one close by. I coach the Miami University water ski team. And every year I give all of the seniors a towel that has Miami University water ski team. And so that's all wide. Well, I want to design it wide and then let it rotate it to go into the machine. So I want to be able to see my words the way I want to see my words. So for today, universal, 150 by 150, natural. And then once I've got everything set up, I say, okay. So you'll notice it just changed my hoop to the 150 by 150 hoop. And if I forget what hoop I have loaded up, I can just come up here and click on hoop again and see it. Okay. All right.
Someone's whining. Go ahead.
I'm going to give you back your screens and allow you to make those changes.
Libby, I wanted to ask you, you're probably hearing my mail when it comes in, that little ding.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't notice it.
Oh, okay. I was going to close out of it, but I didn't want to for fear that it might cancel me being in Zoom or something.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I didn't notice it. Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right, so.
Yeah, it's the beauty of the Mac. Your phone rings on it, your mail comes in, all the things. It's like, oh.
Well, it's, I'm used to it, but I thought it would be annoying, to
Not a
everyone
problem.
else, so. Okay, so 151.
So go to hoop, and then your brand is universal, your group is universal, and your hoop size is 150 by 150. So what hoops do you own?
I actually wrote this down. I just got my machine and I wanted to
Okay.
have, hoops that would work for everything. So I have a small, a medium, an oval, the midi, and the maxi.
You got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So for you, for today, Barb, go ahead and change your hoop. So go over on your toolbar and do hoop and make those changes. So for today's design, Joe, when you get ready to stitch out, your 145 by whatever it is won't work. You've got to go to the next bigger hoop. So even though we design in the universal hoop, you just have to choose something that's as big or bigger when you go to stitch out. It doesn't matter what we design in. It's just when you get ready to stitch, you just have to pick something that's big enough to handle it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
150 natural. And
and then say okay.
oh, okay,
You good?
good.
All right, I'm sharing my screen again.
That's what I'm used to working with.
Good, 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 good. Yeah, though sometimes those square hoops are really nice. My 200 by 200 is my all-time favorite. That's for sure, because it's the size of an 8x8 quilt block.
Oh, okay.
It's handy. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this panel. Right now, we are on the design portion of the panel, and I think the design tab looks like newspaper print. So one of the things that makes teaching this software a little bit challenging is, okay, this is design. Well, here's design up here too as a tab. We are on the panel right now in the newspaper print design. The next thing over on here is Encore, the little dots that go in a circle. The A is for lettering. The leaf is super designs. And the hoop that kind of looks like it's a frame. So there we can put frames around things. The next one over, the icon is for border. I bet you'll never guess what the next one over is with a little scrap of fabric. It's applique. And then we have decoration and modify. So we are going to go get a super design right now, which is our leaf. So I'm going to click on leaf and my panel is going to change. Okay. So when I clicked on the leaf, it brought up a new window in my panel. And right now it says my category is animals. So these are all digitized designs that you own, that you can use, that you can stitch to your heart's content. You know what? Those fish are really kind of fun. I haven't played with those. We've got some red work line animals. I know you've got a cat. There's a dog in here. So those are the animals. And every once in a while, I'll come into here and go, where's the rest of my stuff? Well, if you click the drop down arrow next to category, you can select all, or you can pick a category if you're looking for something.
Oh,
so
cool.
if I click on all, I'm just going to roll through here. I want you to see those are appliques. Then we have Christmas appliques. We have climate. We have flowers, food. These designs you own, all of them. I think that is so exciting. I mean, buttonholes. It's just like there's so many. Now, the other thing I want you to notice is they are alphabetical by category. So see here, sort of. Celebrations. I don't know why faces came before, but child style, for the most part, they're kind of grouped by things and then alphabetical within. So there's my corners coming on down. Felting needles. We are going to go to the flowers category today. So I'm going to go back up to category and click my drop down and go to flowers and leaves. And then I have 3 different category, or more than that, three flowers and a couple leaves, and then roses get their very own. We are going to the flowers 3 category, and we're going to select this second flower. It's flower 2 right here. So I'm going to highlight that. So I went to category flowers and leaves. I went to flowers 3, and I chose this little purple and green flower. We can do some changes down in here about whatever we've selected. We're going to leave color in, but what that is we could also change that to a line drawing. So many of our designs that are in there can be changed to line if we want to. Sometimes we can change more than that. We're going to leave it as color for today. And our size, we want it to be 35 millimeters, I believe. So I'm going to come in here and say 35 and type that in. I can up arrow or down arrow to get there. And I'm going to leave all the rest of that alone. Now, if I hover with my mouse over that size, notice it tells me what it is in inches, which can be super useful if you are not a millimeter person, right?
I'm not.
It's 1.38 inches. Okay, so I am now going to notice nothing has shown up on my screen yet. I made all my selections. I've chosen the flower. I've changed the size, and I'm going to say apply. So I click apply, and now I have a flower in the work area. And it's your turn. So you are going to go to the leaf, which is super design in your panel. Your category is flowers and leaves. And then you're going to go down to the flowers 3 and choose the second flower. And before you get excited, change the size to 35 millimeters. And then click apply.
Whoop.
You should have a flower in the middle of your screen.
I've got 89 millimeters. How do I change that?
Click in there, click into the box with your cursor, and then backspace out whatever's there and type in 35, and then just hit your tab bar and it'll put the millimeters in for you.
Apply.
Got it?
Come on, you could do it. Yay, there it is.
Yay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen again. You'll notice that with our flower, we have, come back. All right. There's a box around it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so our handles are green right now. And that is significant. And we'll get into that more as we move forward in our basics club. But the green handles say to me, go. You can make this any size you want, and it will compensate the stitches for me because it's a super design. It's been digitized in such a way that no matter what I do to it, the system is going to make it, is going to compensate stitches. When those handles are white, you don't want to change the size of it because it won't change the number of stitches.
Okay.
Unless you go into resize. And I wanted to point that out because Barb's wanting to change the size of these quilt labels. And so this is a different style here with these green boxes. You'll also notice that on the sides of it, there's a green triangle on the left and a green circle on the right. If I take my cursor and I put it over top of the triangle, do you see how it turned into a double-ended arrow? If
Yes.
I click when I've got that, watch the flower. It mirror images it.
Okay.
So the triangle on the side allows you to mirror image whatever the design is. The circle over on the right-hand side allows me to rotate that design. So if I want to change the angle of the design, I bring my cursor over that until it turns into a circle. I click on my mouse pad and hold, and then I can rotate that
Cool.
to be at whatever angle I want it to be at. And if I decide I don't want that to be like that and I want to get back to where I was, I want to undo, I can go up to the top to the, I lied. I can go up to the top to edit and I can undo rotate design and it'll put it back. So whatever my last step was, I can go to edit and I can undo. And I can do that multiple times. So I can undo my way back to to the very beginning. So there's unlimited undos. Okay, so I've got my super design here. We talked a little bit about what the different handles around it mean. Oh, one other thing. If I have a design that is outside of the hoop, the work area, the grid, notice what happened to the corners. They turned into circles. That's not stitchable because I'm outside the hoop. It's protecting you from breaking needles and running over your hoop. So you have to be inside the grid when you do a design. You can't go off the grid.
Is that on your cheat sheet?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it is. Okay, so I want that back where I had it. I've moved it and I go, oh shoot, where was that? I can do edit, undo, move design, and it's back in the middle. Okay. All right, so that was just some information about the flower. Now we're going to go to the Encore tab and we're going to turn this into an Encore design. So the Encore are the dots in a circle, meaning I can make a circle with it. I'm going to click on that and my panel just changed. Okay. At the top up here, it says the type. So what type of Encore do I want to make? And I've got position. For type, right now, circle is the one that is highlighted. So I'm going to Encore into a circle. If I want to, I can Encore as a line and make a line of things. Or I could Encore into a shape. I can choose different shapes and have like these flowers show up in a triangle or a whatever, whatever, whatever. I can also Encore around the hoop. And notice my preview window changed every time I chose something different. There's the shape, there's the line, and there's the circle. So it gives you a preview of what you're going to get. Position means, do you want your stuff facing all the same direction? Do you want all your flags to fly the same way? Or do you want them to mirror, which means every other design would alternate in the direction. Remember, I mirrored that flower. I could have a mirror back and forth as they go around the circle. I'm going to leave mine at the standard position. The repeats, I can choose how many repeats I want this design to have. I'm going to say 8. So I can up arrow, bigger numbers, silly, up to 8, or I can come in here and I can highlight it and I can type in the number that I want. Either way. And then I'm going to group this. And notice cancel and apply are both grayed out right now, but I can preview. So I'm going to preview and there is my circle of flowers, okay? And I want this circle to be as big as I can get it in my 150 by 150 hoop so that I have room to put words in the middle. So if I take my cursor over to my hoop and I get in between the two circles, did you see that cursor change to a plus? When I'm
Mhm.
outside, it's just a pointer. When I'm inside, it's a plus.
Okay.
So now I can hold down my mouse and I can, hello. There we go. My fingers are cold. My mouse pad is ignoring me. I can drag this bigger or smaller. You can get some really interesting designs with Encore by pulling them in and doing fun things. I mean, it almost looks like a fun little leaf in the middle, and I can drag it out. Now, when I drag it out, I have to stay inside my grid by just a little bit, or it won't work right. Okay, it'll tell me I'm outside my hoop. So I'm going to take it as big as I can where I can still see that my grid line is outside of my circle. And now notice that my cancel and my apply are active. So I'm going to click apply and notice that I now have handles at the corners of my design. They weren't there a moment ago. They're orange, indicating that it's grouped. And then there's green boxes around each one of my flowers, indicating that this is still, they're still individual designs right now. Okay, so it is your turn. So you're going to go to the Encore tab, which is over in the panel on the right, and it's the circles in the dots in a circle. And because we reset all apps, circle should be highlighted and the standard direction for position should be highlighted. You're going to change
Encore.
over in the panel next to the newspaper print.
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, that's why I wanted to do a project. I wanted you to have to move all around this screen and learn where things are a little bit.
Yeah, there's so many things to look at.
Yes, there are. Change your repeats to 8. And then do a preview.
Now my preview isn't lit up. So I think I have I have the repeats on 8. I have group check.
Okay. Is there a box?
No,
around your flower, Joe?
No. Should I click on it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You clicked off of it at some point, so you didn't have a design selected. It's like, well, what do you want to preview? There's nothing picked. Yeah, that's always the big challenge with the Zoom classes, because I can't see your screen. If we were in the house, I could walk around and go, oh yeah, you don't have your, so I have to be able to think through.
Okay, sorry. I thought you could see our screens.
I know I can't see yours. You can only see mine.
Okay.
Now we can do a switch if somebody gets in deep and we can share somebody else's screen.
Now, do you want us to make this as large as we want or should?
Yeah, like, try to make it as big as you can, staying just inside the grid.
Okay.
Okay. And then once you have it there, go ahead and click apply.
Okay. 6, 8, okay.
Okay.
Whoops.
Uh-oh.
Whoops.
Sorry, that's the mail I was telling you about.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No,
what, that squeak?
Yeah. Are you sure you don't want me to try to?
No, don't. It's okay.
Go to apply once you get it stretched out.
Yes.
Here's a little secret of something I learned in another class, that you can take a name and put it in Encore and, stretch it out or shrink it in, and it turns into what looks like a snowflake.
Snowflake, yeah.
I was going to do that on a Christmas tree skirt.
Yeah, that's fun. I've done that before. Very, very fun. So do you have yours now as an encore design with your orange boxes at the corners of the design?
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. All right, so our next step, I'm going to do a share screen again.
Question.
Yes.
The flower at the top and bottom and right and left doesn't have a square around it. The other four do. Have I screwed something up?
Tell me what's on your, well, I did a share screen, so you can't probably see. What do you have at the corners of the hoop? Of the grid? Do you have orange boxes?
I got orange spots.
Okay. And then
I have orange spots at the cross flowers, and those are the ones that don't have squares around them. And the other ones have squares around them, but
I'm gonna almost bet that it's laying on top of your grid line and you can't see them.
okay.
That's gonna be my guess. If
You're right. You're right. They're just
Okay.
a smidge.
You
Yeah,
stumped me.
just a smidge off the grid
Yeah.
line. Yes, that's what it is.
When I looked down, I was like, oh, it's the grid lines. Okay.
Yeah,
They're
that's
the
what it
same
is.
color. Okay. Shoo! I thought you got me.
Sorry.
That's all right. Okay, so now I'm sharing my screen again, I think. Cursor, come back, come back, come back. There we go. All right, here we are. Okay, so now if I go back to the design portion of the panel, I'm going to see information about what I have over here. And remember, the design portion of the panel is the newspaper print. This is show me information or the list, whatever you want to think of. All right. So now the design panel, which was totally blank earlier, tells me that I have a design on the workspace. It has 16,104 stitches. It is 147.8 millimeters wide, but if I hover, it tells me it's 5.819 inches wide, and it is 5.823 inches tall. And I have 32 colors, which means I would have 32 color stops. No, thank you very much. We're going to fix that a little bit later. But what it's done is it's set up each flower with its 4 colors the 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32. Golly, it works. The math. Yay. I love it when math works. Okay. So, like I say, we're going to come back and color sort this in just a little bit, but we're going to do our lettering first. If I hover over one of the colors, I don't know if you just saw that happen. I just hovered over color number, let's do this one, color number 3. See how my top flower turns yellow? What that does is it lets me see where, so it doesn't really matter with this design, but some designs you go, where on earth is that color even going to stitch? So if you hover over a color, it changes colors in the workspace so you can tell where that thread is going. Just kind of a fun little tip and fact. Okay, so now we're ready to add some lettering. So remember, lettering, all of our work is kind of up here right now. I'm going to go to the letter tab, which is the A, and I have some information here. Here are my fonts. This is where I'm going to type in what I want to have on the design. I can mess with size. I can color sort or not color sort. Usually you want your lettering to color sort. Otherwise it's going to stop after every letter and tell you it wants you to change the thread. No thanks. Percentage height and width, I can change that if I want to. I can have my lettering go in all different shapes. If I click on this, you'll see that that is all the different shapes that I can have lettering take. So I've got just the horizontal block line. I can do vertical. I can do a half circle up and around. I can do a half circle down and around. If you hover over them, it'll tell you what they are. Like this one would be a full circle. This is a fit to a straight line. So there's all different ways we can morph our lettering. We can also select our stitch type for the font that is currently on the screen at the top, the Georgia font. Satin column is the only option, but sometimes it can be changed depending on the font. And then there are more options. To see all of the fonts, you simply put your cursor in the box where the font is and you click, and it brings up all of the different fonts that you own. So I'm going to scroll all the way to the tippy top, and you'll see I have applique fonts. If I start to scroll down, I have children fonts. Some of these are just adorable. I have display. They're named all different things, but they are in order alphabetically by group, kind of more so than the designs. Effects, we can do felting, which means we can do felting designs. We can do twin needle designs. We can use wing needles, which is fun, elegant, but you own all of these fonts.
Wow.
So be sure you get in here and explore from time to time. You can do foam. You know how sorority and fraternity letters on sweatshirts have that dimension? Mm-hmm. That's what foam does for you. You can actually create lettering that is foam underneath. Fun. I love these little Christmas ones, the tree for an A and the snowman for a B and the Santa for the C. I'm kind of a Christmas nut. All right, so we are looking for a script font for today. So, monogram fonts are here too. There's just lots of great fonts. So I'm coming down to script, which is scary font, script. And we are going to use the Valentina script today. So I'm going to roll on down here to Valentina, which is right here. Notice it's available in two different sizes. There's the 08 to 15 and the 12 to 40. 08 to 15 is little, and it's pretty much a line sort of a thing. I will tell you that with lettering, you want to try to stay inside the parameters of the listed size of the font. So if you want something that is 100 millimeters, you probably don't want to pick Valentina. Lettering is intricate, so you kind of want to try, if you can, to stay where you want to be. We're going to use the 12 to 40 today, so I'm going to click on that to highlight it, and it's going to ignore me. There we go. And then I'm going to say OK. Notice now that my font over here is the Valentina font. And then we'll be able to add lettering. So I want you to go find the font, look around just a little bit in your font window. So remember, that's the A over there at the top of the panel. Click into that Georgia font, which will show up first. And you can kind of scroll through there and just take a look at what you own.
I use this Stella for my quilt labels, but
I just used that last night for a quilt label. I started with, I think I started with Valentina. My husband told me he couldn't read it. And I was like, ah.
got assorted ST.
Assorted?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
I got all kinds of script, all kinds of fonts, but it's not traditional.
Okay, Valentina should be the very last font in the script category.
Okay, there's script. I was too far down.
Okay, good. I was like, what did you find?
Leave it to me, I'll find it. Okay, script in, I wrote it. No, I didn't. Script in,
The Valentina, which is
Yeah.
it's and the 12 to 40. You want the
Okay.
12 to 40, okay? And say okay.
okay.
All right, I'm going to share my screen again now. One of the really cool things that we're not going to do today, but that I want you to know can happen. A lot of people have purchased fonts, so they have CDs of fonts. You can actually import that into the font gallery so that you'll be able to do what we're getting ready to do, which is type the words we want. When you have fonts on a CD, you have to pluck them in one by one, letter by letter. But we can actually bring them into here and set them up so that we can use them the way we're getting ready to use this. So when I'm ready to type my words, I'm going to click into the letters box. Notice I got a blue outline around it. And I am going to type spring has sprung. I want a capital S because if I look up here at my font, I see that I have both uppercase and lowercase letters. That's not always true. Some fonts are only uppercase. This one is upper and lower, so I do have to do my own upper and lower when I'm typing. So I'm going to type in spring. Now I want has to be on the next line. If I hit enter as though I were in Word, it'll put spring on into my workspace. Whoops. See how it jumped in there? And that is not what I want. I want 3 lines of lettering. So I'm going to undo that because that isn't what I want.
Okay.
Bring my cursor back over here, and to go to the next line in the letters box, I have to hold down the Option key on my keyboard and press enter. So I'm holding down Option, I press enter, and it takes me down to the next line on the letters box. I'm going to type in has, and then I'm going to hold my Option key and I'm going to press return or enter, whatever it says on your keyboard, and I'm going to type in the word sprung. Okay. And then I'm going to hit apply down here in the very bottom, and it dropped it into the workspace, kind of. It dumped it in at the bottom. So what it did is it put it outside of the design that's already there. So see how when I take my cursor over, it changes to a kind of an X. When I'm there, I can now hold down my mouse key and drag it up to where I want it. Okay. Now it's your turn. So we're going to drop into the letters box, click into there and type in spring, and then Option enter to get to the next line. And then,
Stacy,
and then has.
somebody going by.
Okay.
Okay.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Okay, I'm behind. I got Valentina.
Okay.
Size, what size is it?
The 12 to 40.
That's what I've got, 12 millimeter.
Okay. So
Color
go-
sort, no, yes. Color sort
Yeah,
check or
you
not
should have
check.
a check mark in there.
Okay. Now, when I go to the letters, spring, oh,
Your turn. You have to type the word.
Option enter.
Uh-huh. And then has.
HAS, option enter. Sprung.
And then apply down in the bottom right-hand corner. We'll put it on your screen.
Does it automatically like center the,
It does, and I didn't show you guys that. So yes, it will automatically center, and I will show you why. Thank you for that question. And it drops it just below your design, and you'll have to drag it up to put it in the middle of your screen.
and so apply.
Mine just popped up there.
Yours go in the middle?
Yes.
Makes a liar out
Mine
of me every
didn't.
time.
I don't know why, it just did.
Mine did it the other day, and then today it dropped it in at the bottom, which is what I'm more used to seeing. So I don't know why. I don't know why it did that. Just know you can put it where you want it. How's that?
That works. Okay,
You good? Okay.
in the middle.
Excellent. All right. So to Barb's point, which there's just some, I want to teach you everything. So it's really hard for me to limit or not limit what we want to do. Down here in options, we have the option to set up the alignment that we want. So we can left justify, center, or right justify.
Oh, cool.
The default is center. They figure normally we're centering our wording.
Mhm.
So that's how you set that up. I had another thought and I totally lost it.
Where did you get letter options again?
Down at the very bottom of the letter panel,
Oh,
there's
okay.
a button that says options.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that's where that is. Now, I think that this spring has sprung is a little bit too small. I think it could be bigger. And if there are, again, multiple roads to get there, I could delete this and then change my size over here and redo it. Or I can, I can, did I really not tell you how to do that in here? Did I leave that out? I did. I'll be darned. I have to send you a revised sheet because I left
Oh,
it out.
good, because I'll never remember.
I love it. To change, let me make a note here so I don't forget to do it. I don't know how I obliterated that because it was in my other version and I did to change size. Okay, so I can come into this design. See how my cursor's turned into that X, and
Yes.
I can right click. I really thought I did this because it's a 2-finger press. I don't know how I got rid of it. I had it. I'm going to right click and it gives me this large drop down menu. Okay. And so I can go to properties and it will bring up essentially everything that's over here. And for spring is sprung, that's not a very big, long lettering sort of thing, but sometimes you've been very careful to spell things right and do all those kinds of things. So notice that my lettering is here and I can change the size. So I can take this up to, say, 15 millimeter. Oh, and say, okay. And watch carefully on my screen and it will change it. See how it made it bigger?
Mhm.
So I can play around in there and change the size if I want to without retyping the information. Maybe I decide that
I see.
really isn't quite big enough either. And I can take it up one more to 16 and say, okay. The other thing that I can do to change this is in properties, I can say, you know what? I don't like Valentina. I want a different font. So I can click on the font and audition a second font right from here very readily.
Oh, this can be fun to play in.
Yeah, it sure can. I knew you did a lot of lettering, so I wanted to get in there and show that to you. And again, here's your alignment. You could change the shape. Maybe you wanted it to be a different shape. You can do
Oh my goodness, look at all that. Whee!
Woohoo, woohoo. All right, let me give you back your screen and let you guys do that. Oh, it's in there. I just didn't see it. You got it.
Where?
It's about halfway down on your sheet on page 4. After we click apply, then right click on the design, 2-finger press on your mouse pad. Change the size to 17 millimeters. I don't know. I don't know how I missed that. I'm gonna let you do that. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a little bit more water.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't either.
I
When I
didn't
go down to
realize-
options, it just shows me letter options. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. I'm not used to a mouse. I just use my touchpad, and so I've got letter options on the screen, but
Yeah, now what? Well, it's got the center thing, the word centered.
right.
Okay, now what?
Change your size to make it 17 millimeters. You see the size?
Libby, I'm not used to a mouse in the first place. And I guess
Okay.
that I can, I guess I do can double click, but right now what I have on the screen says letter options. It has alignment and line spacing.
Okay.
What were you saying about like double click or I don't know, right click?
To right click. Okay, so if you will take your cursor into the box that is around Spring Has Sprung, see how it'll turn into a double, kind of a double cross, if you will, like an X.
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay, 2-finger press on your mouse pad is a right click
Okay,
on your computer. So that should bring that drop down menu for you.
okay,
And do you see the second item on that is properties?
yes.
Okay, click on properties with just a single finger.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then you can change your size to 17 millimeters.
You're pretty sneaky with this 2-finger stuff.
I am a right clicker extraordinaire, let me tell you.
I know, that's what my husband used to preach. When you get stuck, right click.
Right click. Well, yeah, because a left click will do what you see and a right click will typically give you more options. So left is what you got and right is give me more.
Okay, I got it bigger.
Okay,
And has is in the middle.
awesome.
And now apply.
Uh-huh.
Whoops, now I got another one down at the bottom.
Oh, I'm not sure that you opened up the window then, the properties window. I think you played in the original panel and you've
Probably.
created a second one.
Yes.
So you have a box around the one at the bottom right now, Barb? Is that
Yes.
correct? Click on edit up at the tippy top
Mm-hmm.
and click delete to get rid of that one.
Bye.
Okay.
It's gone. Thank you.
Good deal. You're welcome. Now I want you to take your cursor inside of the box that is around the Spring Has Sprung.
It don't have one. I don't have one.
Oh, good. All right. Now I get to teach you something else. Let me show you.
Hold on just a second.
Okay.
So Barb said she clicked apply, and that's just what I clicked. And now I have another box in there. So how do I get rid of that?
All right. You want to go up to edit at the top of your screen
Oh, okay.
and then click on delete.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm going to show you what y'all did and then how to do it my way. So what you did is you ended up, both of you, over in here and you went, okay, I am going to change that to 17 millimeters because that's what she said to do. And then you came down here and you said apply and bingo, you got a second
Yep.
Spring has sprung, which was not, it's another way to do it. We'd have to delete the first one and drag that one up, but it's all sorts of extra steps. So I'm going to edit and I'm going to delete that new one. Okay, so now what I really want to do is change the one that's already there. I want you to look at my workspace right now. Do you see a box around anything?
No.
No.
Yeah. So if I click to put a box around anything, I'm just going to click where my cursor's sitting right now because it's right there by Spring Has Sprung, right? It should put a box around Spring Has Sprung.
Mm.
Oh,
How'd you do that?
I just clicked right there where Spring Has Sprung is. That should not have worked. Interesting. Okay.
Well,
I did what
welcome to my world.
I did what you said, and I had that bigger box that came up with
Exactly.
all the info.
You had that.
And I did that, but then afterwards, Barb said she was hitting apply, and I thought, oh, okay, well, I'm supposed to hit apply, and then I got the.
And then you got the second one because you came over here and you went apply.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we really
Don't listen to me.
No.
Don't follow me.
We were supposed to do.
Nope, this happens, and this is something that I wanted to show you. Actually, I was shocked. Normally, if I click right here, on a PC, you would not be able to grab that center design.
Mm.
Okay. What I expected to happen is I expected when I clicked on Spring Has Sprung to have this happen, where I've got the box around the bigger design.
Mhm.
And you can't, once you do that, you can't get Spring. I'm clicking on Spring. I can't get the box around Spring Has Sprung anymore.
Okay.
So what I wanted to be able to show you guys this, if I go to the design tab, went the wrong place again. If I go to edit, is that right? Yes. If I go to the edit tab, I can move back and forth amongst my various designs.
Okay.
Because the box around the Encore is bigger than the box is around Spring. It's hard to get after Spring Has Sprung because the bigger box, once I've got it, I can't get there. So if I do previous design, it goes back to Spring Has Sprung.
Okay.
Or if I go edit again, I can go next design and it takes me out to the big, to the Encore. But the key here is, let me show you, I'm going to come over here to the panel and I'm going to come and I'm going to say design. Notice right now I have the box around the big design, the Encore, and I've got the 32 colors we talked about. If I come up here and I go edit and I go next design, I have one color.
Cool.
Because I have Spring Has Sprung. Right now, they are two separate designs. We have not combined them yet. Another thing I want to point out to you is that if I click on this edit, notice that there are all these symbols, whoops, I'm sorry, over here on the right-hand side. Those are your keyboard shortcuts. And for next design and previous design, I like to use the shortcut because that's why I didn't know where it was. I went to design first and it wasn't there. It's in the edit. So that little flower is your command key and the arrow is the arrow key on your keyboard. So if I hold down command and I do arrow, I can move my way through all of the designs on my screen. So let me come off of here and I can notice I don't have the edit tab open and I'm going to hold down command and do my right arrow and it takes me out to the Encore design. If I hit right arrow again, it takes me to my Spring Has Sprung. So the arrow keys will step me through my different designs if I hold down my command key. I think that's a keyboard shortcut worth knowing for sure. Okay. So, and I will help you.
When you say arrow, are these arrows over here on the right?
Bottom right-hand corner of your keyboard. Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, the right and left will take you back and forth. Okay. So the way I wanted you to alter your design was not to go back over to the panel on the letter tab. So I'm just going to come back to the newspaper print. Okay. I wanted you to bring your cursor into Spring Has Sprung. Now I'm going to use a right click, which is a 2-finger press, and that brings up my menu. Then I can go to properties, and I'm dealing with what I already did. I'm not going to apply a new one. Notice there's no apply in this screen. I'm going to make changes, and then I'm going to say okay. So I am going to tell this that I want it to be 17 is what we were doing. I'm going to make it 15 just so it changes. And I'm going to say okay. It altered my size. And I didn't have to retype anything. I didn't have to bring in a new design, delete the old design. I could make changes to what was already there. So for a quilt label, like the one that I'm doing right now is kind of lengthy. It's a wedding quilt for my son-in-law and daughter. And it's got blown away, pattern is quilting paisleys, you were blown away by each other, you're swirling through life together, love mom and dad, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to retype that every time I audition a new whatever. So this is how you can make those changes. So let's let you do that. So you need to get the box select around Spring Has Sprung. Remember, Command and your arrow key will allow you to move amongst the designs that are on your screen. We have 2, and we want the box to be around Spring Has Sprung.
Got it.
Okay, so then you want your cursor inside of that box, and we'll do a right click, which is a 2-finger press, and it will bring up the menu, the drop-down menu. And then you're after properties to make changes.
Oh dear. Oh, I did something bad. I don't know what it is.
Well, what do you have on your screen?
Well, I have the, what I did was I just went ahead and clicked inside where the letters were, and I got the, it looked the way it normally did with the green boxes.
Okay.
And then when I went ahead and did the double click, then it changed to all white boxes. And when I release on properties, now it says modify design.
Okay. So you did a double click. Were you on properties when you double clicked? Where were you when you double clicked? I wonder. Okay. In the modified design, do you have okay and cancel as options?
Yeah, I have cancel and okay.
Do cancel.
But now it will just, it still has the white boxes around it. Now it's like moving everywhere.
Okay, so click on edit tab up at the tippy top.
Okay.
And see if you can undo what you just did.
Well,
when you click edit, is the very first thing undo properties or undo something?
It says undo move design.
Click that, and you're probably gonna have to do that several times until you get back to what you had. So edit, undo, edit, undo.
Okay, now it says undo fix as stitches.
Yeah, undo that. You missed, instead of clicking properties, you clicked fix as stitches, and it said, okay, she's happy, let's make these stitches instead of still making them adjustable.
So now I should
you have green boxes, right?
Pardon me?
You have green?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, good deal. So now let's go in with the right click, which is your 2-finger press. Now bring your cursor down to properties in that menu that just opened and click with 1 finger.
Okay, now I have it.
Yay!
Now what am I supposed to do in here?
I got there, now I don't know what to do. You want to change the size to
Okay,
7 millimeters and then say okay.
okay. Well, it is still 17, so I'll just click okay. All right.
All
I'm
right.
not gonna do anything else. I'm not gonna touch anything.
Oh, no. The best way to learn is to go plunging into the weeds and have to find your way back out.
Oh, boy.
Like I said, we're competitive water skiers and we laugh and say pain is a great educator. When you fall that hard because you did something wrong, you never want to do it again. So you learn. All right. So now we have our 2 designs. And I am not screen sharing. Okay, so if you will click on your newsprint over there, your design in the panel, it will show you that you have Spring Has Sprung, I think, with 1 color. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just shows
And
one color.
Got around 1700 stitches, depending on what size. I've messed with my size so much, I have no idea. We probably won't match anymore. Tells you how many stitches are there. And if you hold down your command key and you click your arrow key, your right arrow key, you will see the 16,000 some odd stitches and your 32 colors of the other design.
Yay.
Do we all have the same thing?
Yes.
Excellent. Barb, you got the same thing?
Yeah, and the boxes are around all the flowers.
Right. And even though it looks like Spring Has Sprung is part of that, we know it's not, because, for instance, if I were to, let's just jump in the weeds a little bit here. I'm going to share my screen. Another way to tell whether or not you've combined everything or not, and this sends people into a panic too. I just clicked outside of the hoop and it looks like I have nothing, no stitches. It's because nothing's selected, right? So if I click on my flowers and I do this, notice spring doesn't go with them. That's sad. We definitely want spring and flowers to stay together. So I know it's not all one design yet. Okay. Didn't realize this, but on the Mac, if I click out here and I have nothing selected, I can jump right here and I can select Spring Has Sprung. I learned that today. Thank you. I didn't know that. Because on a PC,
and then I messed up.
Okay, so now our next step is to combine the 2 designs to make them one, because we want them to be the same. We want them to stitch out together. We don't want it to be separate. That is not centered right now. So I am going to go not there. Again, I know some of the shortcuts, so I apologize. Notice here under design, one of my options is center in the hoop. And I would like for this to go back to the center. I don't want to try to adjust it myself. I'm just going to click center in hoop. See how it's scooched just a little bit, and now it's in the center.
Okay.
Okay, so our next step on page 4 is to combine these designs. So we're going to come up to the design tab, and I'm going to click on that, and notice that combine all is one of my options. So I'm going to click that, and notice my information over here changed. I now have 33 colors and I have 17,960 stitches. It is all one design. And Jo discovered this all by herself earlier. When those handles at the outside edge turn white, it is fixed as stitches. Okay, so this design is now set. The stitches are fixed. And I'm going to show you an example of what I mean, because this is important for what Barb's doing. Notice that my stitches are 17,960. If I grab a hold of that corner, whoops, see how my cursor changed to a double arrow? If I grab a hold of that by holding down and drag in, the stitches didn't change. I resized it, but the stitch count did not change. That is not okay.
That is going to be messy.
That'll be messy. We will have a lot of thread on top of each other. So once the handles are white, if you want to change the size, you need to use your resize up here. So let me undo that. I'm going to go to edit, undo. This is also a keyboard command. Whoops, sorry, that you may want to learn. Command Z is undo. That way you don't have to keep clicking edit, undo, edit, undo, edit, undo. Command Z will do that.
Z as in zebra?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So now if I want to resize this, for instance, I would click on the resize. Notice my handles turned blue. You see that?
Yes.
That means I'm now clear to resize this and it will change my stitch count for me. When I let go, notice I now have 10,521 stitches. So it compensated and it took out some of those stitches for me. Okay.
Should you do that at the end of a design?
If you want to change the size at any point, make sure you toggle this resize button on. Make sure you have blue handles, make your change. And when you're finished, turn that back off. So notice my handles went back to white and I now have 10,000 stitches instead of the 17,000 stitches. Okay. So resize is an important one that allows the stitches to compensate. I'm going to undo that. So I'm going to hold down my command key and I'm going to click on Z. Notice my stitches are still fixed, though it's still white. Whoa, that's what I want. I'm sorry. That's exactly what I wanted. So we're back to our original design. So our steps here were to go to design and then combine all was the step. It's grayed out because it's already combined right now. I want you all to go ahead and combine your designs. So design tab up at the top and then combine all. And you should
now I have white corners and
white boxes
and 33 colors, right?
Right.
and almost 18,000 stitches.
Yes. So now we have 33 stops on the machine to rethread it. No,
thank you.
Thank you. So go back up to design and click on color sort. And tell me what you see.
We got 6 colors, 5 colors.
5 colors.
I love to watch that and do it.
I know. It's pretty awesome. It's like, oh, thank you. Now there can be occasions where it will keep the same color as 2 color stops, if that makes sense in the design. So there are occasions where a red is not a red because maybe the mouth has to be on top of the face where there were other reds that have to be stitched out at a different time. So every once in a while, it won't put all of a single color together because it thinks it knows better than you. And most of the time,
it's right.
Does. That's exactly right. Okay, so let me show you the next step here. Once we've got it color sorted, we've got 5 colors, and I really think that I would like to make my spring has sprung be the same color as my flower petals. Okay, so again, if I hover over the colors, notice that my stems just turn kind of a blue color. You can tell what that green is going to stitch. If I go over the dark green, it shows you where the dark green threads are. Here is my flower, and notice it's telling me what colors those are. So this particular super design was digitized with Robus and Anton. Doesn't mean you can't use any color you want, but it tells you what colors they are. Robus and Anton 2588. And then my port wine is my detail on the flowers. So number 5, I want to change to be the same as number 3. So again, number 3 is 2588. So I want to come down here over number 5, which is my letters. So I've got my cursor over that, and I'm going to click one time, and it opens the color window, the thread window. Now, this thread window is full of information, lots and lots and lots of information. You can set up your own thread range. If you have all Floriani and Isacord, you can set that up so that's all you really have to look at when you do quick searches. Or you can say, nope, show me all the thread ranges. So my thread ranges, I have a lot of different kinds of threads. So I've put some of them in here so that they're quick access for me. But if I want to see all of the thread ranges, I click here and I click the drop down, and the thread manufacturers are on here.
Oh my God.
With all of their various versions. If you can't find the thread that you're planning to use, you found something a little bit unusual, which is okay. So at any rate, there are lots of thread manufacturers in here and all of the different ones. So if, for instance, you were going to stitch out with Isacord Poly 40, you could take your thread and look at the end of it, see what the number is. You could choose the Isacord Poly 40, and then you could pick the color, and you would see that on your screen. So you could see exactly what you're getting ready to stitch. The other thing that does for you is if you want to stitch something out again, if you'll change it to what you used, you can go back and stitch it with the same colors, should you want to do that. I'm going to go back to the Robeson Anton. I just wanted you to see that. Robeson Anton Poly 40, I believe, is where we were. Okay, so let me jump back out of there for just a second. So Robeson Anton 2588 is our color that we want to change number 5 to. So I'm going to go back in here, and I am going to go into the find thread box. And if I'm holding my spool or I looked, I know that I want 2588. What it does for me is it says, okay, here's the color that you have. Here is the color you're asking for. Do you want it? I'm going to highlight 2588, which is the color that I put in. It shows me that color here in a stitch out, and I'm going to say, okay. Notice that this is now the exact same color as my flower petals. And I can see over here that number 5 is the same color as my flower petals. Okay, I don't think there's any reason for it to stop, for me to load up the port wine and then come back and load this up. So I'm going to go back up to design, and I'm going to say color sort again. And now I'm down to 4 colors.
Okay.
Yeah, thought you'd like that.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Your turn.
All right.
I don't know that's gonna happen.
What I just heard was the laugh that I hear when people are like, okay, my brain is blown. Do we really have to do anything
Is
else?
she kidding?
So basically what we want to do is we want to change color number 5 to be the same as color number 3. So if I hold my cursor over 3, it tells me what color that is, right?
Okay, so right now I'm not seeing any colors. I must have clicked off of it again. Should I click onto the grid again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope that happens to you a lot when you're in class, so that when you're by yourself, you don't go, oh, I have no thread.
Well, the last time I clicked, I got white boxes, and I want to ask before I do it.
No, that's
Okay.
fair. That is fair.
Let's see. Where are we going now?
Okay, so you want to know what color number 3 is. And to find out what color number 3 is, put your cursor over it and it'll pop up and tell you what it is.
Okay, now I got my mid lilac.
Right, and the number is 2588. That's what you want to know.
Okay.
So now go down and click on number 5, Click the
Do I
color
hit
box.
okay or
Oh,
just
did you
go?
open it? Did you open color 3, Barb? You have a color window up with all sorts of threads and stuff?
Yeah.
Click OK.
All right. Oh, they all went away.
You still have your colors over on the side, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now I clicked on 5.
Click on color number 5 and go into the little white box that says find thread and put in color number 2588, which is the same as number 3.
2588. Okay.
And it shows you the star in that color down at the bottom, and you want to click OK.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. I'm not there. I clicked on 5. Am I supposed to double click or?
Did you click on the number or did you click on the color bar that was next to it?
No, I don't have any colors. Okay, wait, let me get this
Click on
back.
your design to get them all back. Get the color.
And then I
did it.
I hovered over 3 and saw the number. So now I'm hovering over 5.
Just click on 5. Click on that color bar next to 5, and it'll open that window up.
The color bar, yeah.
Just one click.
Okay, now it came down.
Okay. So in the find thread box,
okay,
little white box, click in there and type in 2588.
Design colors. I did it.
Yay! So now what it does is it brings up a little window that shows you your original color.
Right.
2588. So you want to click on the 2588 so it's highlighted.
Okay.
And then say okay.
All right. And
so now 3 and 5 should look like they match.
Yes.
Okay. So now we want to color sort again so that it'll stitch all of that mid lilac or whatever it is at the same time. So go up to design.
Right. And go to color sort.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I have 4 colors.
Yay. Excellent. You are good. Okay. So the last piece of today is the one that we review every single club, sometimes for almost 2 years. This seems to be the hard part, and it's the most important part. You want to be able to save your design, and you want to be able to stitch your designs. Okay, so I'm bringing back my screen, and we're going to talk about the difference between saving and exporting. Okay, so remember way back at the beginning, before I totally worked you over here, we have 2 ways that we can get at saving. We can either use the File tab or we can use the Actions tab. I'm going to click on the File tab, and we're going to save this design as a VP4 design. And you're going to go, what? You just told me we have to translate, we have to whatever. Well, we always save our designs as a VP4. VP4 is for all machine owners, all of them. That is a working file. VP4 is your friend. You want to save as that. So I've clicked on File, and I'm going to click on Save. Now, I want it to go in the My Designs folder, because Premiere is all set up so that if we save all of our designs there, it's really easy to get back at them. So that is where I want it to go. And if that's not where you pop up, we'll have to talk about that. But I think because we did the reset all modules at the very beginning, I think that's what will happen for everybody. It pops up with the name Untitled. I'm going to type in Spring Has Sprung because I want to call it Spring Has Sprung, since that's what I designed. I'm going to click on this drop down arrow. Yeah, right here. Right now, and I don't know why this, yeah, I do know why it does it. Do you see down here in the very bottom corner where it says hide extension? Mm-hmm. So it's not showing me how it is saving this design. And I really would like to be able to see it. So I'm going to uncheck mark that. Notice VP4 automatically appended to that title, which is what I wanted, because I'm doing a save. It's going to save it as a VP4 and it's going to save it in my design. So I'm going to say save. And it says you've already done it because I practiced to make sure that it all worked. And I'll tell it to replace it. So now I have saved my design. I want you guys to do the exact same thing. We'll go in small steps right now because our brains are getting very full.
What brain?
Well, there's that too.
Okay. Go
Okay.
to design.
No, not design. File.
No.
Either file
File.
or actions, either one, and go to save.
File. Save.
And it should have popped up
As untitled.
as untitled. That is correct.
And mine does say my designs on there.
Awesome.
So does mine. Do I have to put VP4 at the end of Spring Has Sprung?
You know, it
No?
will do that automatically. Anything dot whatever is a system generated thing. So you do not. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can uncheck hide extension if you've got the bigger window. If you've got the smaller window, you won't see that. And I'm not sure what you're seeing. It depends.
I just have a small window.
Okay, so right next to save as, right next to that box, you see a tiny little arrow pointing down.
Yes.
If you
I
click
don't
on
see a
that-
save as.
Yeah.
Did I
Well,
go
it's
to the
over to
wrong-
the
Save.
left.
I'm sorry, save.
Okay, I don't see anything. I have Spring Has Sprung, tags is blank, where my designs.
And
And
is
then
that
cancel
all
and
that's
save.
in that window right now, Barb? Is that all you see in that window?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
well, no, the design is there.
Okay, hold tight for just a minute then. Joe, what do you see? Same thing?
I have the small window, and to the left of where I typed in Spring Has Sprung, there's a save as. So
Mhm.
it says save as Spring Has Sprung. I have a tags, then it says where, my designs, and that's it. There's a cancel and save down there in the right-hand corner.
Okay, so let me ask you this. The box where you've typed in Spring Has Sprung,
Mhm.
to the right of that, is there a little bitty square that has like a down arrow in it?
Yes.
Click that. Just one
Uh-huh.
time, click that.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, so that brought up your whole file structure. You can see over on the left-hand side, all sorts of different locations, and your applications and all that kind of stuff. Down at the very bottom left corner, there's a check mark where it says hide extension. I want you to take the check mark out of that box.
Okay.
I don't have that. I have new folder at the bottom.
To the left of that, you don't have hide extension?
No,
Oh, different
I
operating
have,
system.
my files and everything are a mess.
Okay, well, that's a whole nother class, so we're not going to worry about it.
Right.
I am going to tell you and ask you to trust me that it is being saved as a VP4 because
Okay.
that's what Premiere does, okay? So did you see the VP4 pop up, Joe, since you did
Yes.
have that? Okay, so now down in the, I'm over here trying to reach for my mouse. I must think I picked up my PC. Over here on the table, sliding my hand around. Going, no. Okay, so now we're just going to click save, okay, which is in the bottom right-hand corner.
I think part of my problem is there's all these true embroidery folders in here that I need to get rid of.
Don't get rid of them just yet because you've probably got designs in there. We need to spend some time sometime cleaning up your computer.
Yes, we do.
Your designs organized, and that's something that would be a challenge to do over Zoom. Oh, then we could do it. We could switch. whose screen is being shown, but don't get rid of them for now.
Okay.
But let's save everything in my designs from this point forward,
Save.
and then we'll do some cleanup. Okay, so now we've saved it. It's on our computer, so it's safe. It's saved. We've got it, but it's not stitchable yet. We need to export it to our file format. So I am going to show you that with a screen share. There we go. And here we are. All right, so export is the same place. It's either under file, right down here, or I can go to actions and I can do an export, which is right here. So either way, I'm going to click on export. Oh, before I do that, and I didn't point it out earlier, but if you'll notice at the top of my screen right here, this said untitled the whole time we were working until we saved it. And when we saved it, we named it. Okay? So now there's a name sitting there. So I'm going to go to export. So I went to actions. I'm going to export and file format. It says, what file format would you like to export to? It defaulted to the VP4. I am going to choose, if I'm an icon owner, VP3. Okay. And I'm going to come back and do yours too, Joe. So VP3, I choose if I own an icon. It's going to color sort for me. We forced to color sort, but it would have color sorted when I exported it anyway. It's going to optimize my stitch lengths, and I am going to say continue. When I continue, now it says spring has sprung, exported, meaning that this is my stitchable file. This is the point at which I want to, if I'm not yet using my Sonet and I'm taking things via USB stick, or the Bernina, I would be using my USB stick. I put my USB stick into my computer. Thank goodness I didn't bump my HDMI cord out of there. We would have lost everything as far as you being able to see. And over here on the left-hand side, the USB stick popped up, right? And I want to export it to the USB stick so I can take it to my machine and stitch it. So I am going to click on the USB stick. And notice I've done it a couple times. It's there in the PES. And I'm going to now click save. So now the design is on my USB stick as a VP3. And I can verify that by going to Finder. I can go to my USB stick and I can see that I have spring has sprung class exported.vp3. That is the one I just exported. So it is on my USB stick ready to go. Okay. Now for Joe, we're going to need to export it as a PES. And I am going to do that.
I'm going to run downstairs and get my USB stick.
Okay, good idea.
Are we supposed to have, I was going to ask you about that because I don't really have, well, I have one that has other designs on it.
That'd be okay.
But I don't know where it is right now.
Oh, okay, that's fine. And you can actually export it to your My Designs file and then just copy it from there to a USB stick, or you can send it via my Sonet if you've done that before, or if you know how to do that.
I don't know how to do that. I've never done that before. And my question is too, a lot of times I have problems like finding where things are. Where is this folder, you know, on your Mac that says My Designs?
Okay, that's a fun one to find.
That's what I thought.
It's not. How long have you had your Mac?
Quite a few years, but I'm still kind of, I'm not good with downloads. I finally found that if I went to like view or go, or I think it's view. And then I found where it says downloads. And if I go there, most of the, like I'm an Quilt person. And so they have embroidery
Yeah.
stitches. And even though I've downloaded it, I couldn't find my folder. So I know where it is now. I've never actually put them on a USB stick or anything like that. But I wanted to know, like, how large, how many gigs should our USB stick be?
Okay.
Like, is 32, 64? I mean, what would be best?
Okay. You have asked about 15 questions all in one. That's okay. That's okay. Let me start with the USB stick as far as what size should it be. The size of a USB stick for transporting designs from your computer to your sewing machine should be no larger than 1 gigabyte. The reason for that is your sewing machine is a sewing machine with a mini computer in it. It does not have the computing capabilities that your laptop does. So you don't want a huge USB stick. A lot of the machines won't even try. If they're huge, they won't read them. They just won't even try because it's too much indexing. It's too much information. So a 1 gigabyte is perfect. That is what we sell at. They're almost hard to find anymore because everything's bigger and better, bigger and better, bigger and better. So we do sell the 1 gigs at Quilt Beginnings. Oh, there's that cute little pup.
Here's the noisy one.
So a 1 gig is your best bet for
My
taking
buddy.
designs to the machine. Okay. And I really don't store designs on my USB. I put them on there, take them to the machine, and then take them back off. Yep.
Here's one I got at Quilt Beginnings.
Perfect. That's a 1
They come
gig.
in pretty colors. I have a green one somewhere.
Those are perfect.
And then this one goes with my other Viking machine, but it works here. So
of course it does. Of course it does. Okay, so Joe, to your point, can you see my finder that I brought up? You can see that right now, right? Favorites, Libby Vantrease, Dropbox. Okay, so your question to me is, where the heck is everything and how do I find it? If you have a house at the top of your finder, we're golden. If you don't, we need to talk because we can get it there. We can get it there. I always have to look it up. So I'm going to click on my house. And when I click on my house, this is where all my stuff lives. Okay. So Premiere Plus 2 has a folder. Okay. If I click that, my designs folder is there. Okay. That's also where my guides are. So Libby Vantrease, Premiere Plus 2, and then I get all of these. I have samples in here. I have a README, I have my designs, and I have guides, and I have something that I did not store properly. I have no idea. Spring Flowers from 2019. I have no idea what that is, and I don't know why it's there, doesn't belong there. But anyway, I stored it in the wrong place. So the guides, I have reference guides, sample guides, and user guides. The user guides are exactly what you got in the box. The reference guides are big guides for all of the different modules that we own. Okay, so we have, whoops, wrong thing. Let me come over here. Oh, really? Come on. Goodness gracious. We've got a configure reference guide. There's a whole reference guide on that. There's create, cross stitch, embroidery reference guide, which is the module we're working in today, modify, and the thread cache. So there's lots of information here. Your question was, where are my designs? This is it, my designs, and here are all of the my designs that are in here. I recommend that you make a folder for class and even store your designs within the My Designs folder in a folder that is your class folder. Okay.
Okay.
So if I wanted a new folder, I think I think file has it, or I'm a
File.
right clicker. I can go right click in this column and say new folder. There it is. I can call it class. Let's call it basics club, actually, because this is the basics club class. And I can
2021.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're not wrong. Okay, so then I can do this and I can put that in there. Oh no, I can't. I have to go over there, don't I? Yeah. All right.
Well, if you click on Basics Club class and it has, oh, there's nothing in there. And then you see if you can drag.
Right. There we go. All right. Sorry. This is the difference between PC and Macville, and I have to remember how to get there. So I can actually create that and put those in there if I want to. So back to your question. Whoops. Where'd I go? Libby, I went to Finder, I went to Premiere +2, and then My Designs. And that's what we want to do for Barb eventually, is get all of those true designs from your older software and get them in the new My Designs. And that's something we'll work on at some point.
Okay.
So does that answer your question, Joe, as far as where they are?
Yes, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And so then when you have your USB stick, we can take this Spring Has Sprung exported and drag it over and drop it on that stick, right?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, Barb, now that you've run up and down the stairs, do you remember how to export? I'm gonna step
go to
through
file or action and then go to export.
Look at you. Yeah, you do. All right, so I'm going to show it again for the PES file so that Joe gets a chance to see it. So I'm going to go to File. Whoops, I need a box around my design because there was nothing to export. All right, so I'm going to go to File, Export. I'm going to click this drop down arrow next to File Format. VP3 is correct for Barb. For Joe, we need to pick a Bernina, all right? And you can use, you actually can use the PES, the PEC, or the Melco Expanded EXP. I would recommend the PES file because the Melco Expanded is a digitizing file, and when you save it that way, the colors don't hold. So it's a real pain in the neck. So I'm going to choose Brother Baby Lock Bernina, PES. And when I do that, here's where all of my Bernina friends lose their minds, because see how there's a red box around the design? That means it won't fit. It does not fit. It comes up with too small of a hoop. I don't know why it does it, but we're going to need to change the hoop. So I'm going to do a change hoop. I've got manufacturer, hoop group, and hoop size. This is going to sound crazy, but we're going to come in here, we're going to click the drop down, and we're going to pick Baby Lock. Even though you own a Bernina, we're going to pick Baby Lock. And then we're going to click the drop down next to hoop group, and we're going to choose the Solaris, because it gives me hoops that I can choose from that will fit. And we remember that we were using a 150 by 150, so I can pick that. And I can say, okay. Now you can see that my design fits in the hoop. So I just need to pick something that's as big as what we designed in or bigger. Your machine will not care as long as you put a hoop in that is as big or bigger than what we designed in. So then you'll say continue. And now you're to the exact same place Barb would be. And you can export that to the USB stick if you like, or if you decide that you want to just export it I keep exported copies both on my computer and on my USB, so I don't have to re-export. So if I want to go ahead and export it into the My Designs folder, I click on Libby Van Treese. I come down to here to Premiere +2. I choose my Basics Club class folder and I say save, and it will export it. And again, it put the name, the word exported at the end, so I know it's an exported file. It says there's one that already exists. You want to replace it? Sure. And so now it's on there.
Now, what about exporting it to Sonet?
Export it to your USB first, and then we'll talk about that.
Okay, so I should go ahead and do that now.
Mhm.
Action.
Okay.
Export.
Okay.
It says VP4.
You want VP3, your exported file. So click that drop down arrow and choose VP3 for the export. VP4 is for the save. VP3 is for the export, or PES for Joe.
VP3 there.
Mm-hmm.
Change.
Color sort and optimize stitch length are clicked.
Yep, and you want them to be in most cases.
Okay, continue. Ah, My Designs. Cool.
Look at that. But if you want it on your USB stick, you've got to choose that over there in your left-hand side.
What am I choosing?
Did you insert your USB stick into your Mac yet?
Yeah. And it came up as My Designs.
Oh, okay. You've got it named that way. That's fine. Then export it to there.
There's my house. Yay.
Yay.
Libby, I clicked on change the hoop, and then I clicked baby lock, and then the hoop group, I can't find where it says Solaris in here.
That's not the first word in there. So let me see what it is. Baby lock. Oh, okay. Then choose Destiny. The Baby Lock Meridian, Altair, Destiny, and Destiny 2. You haven't done a smart update yet, so you don't have Solaris.
Okay. So that's Destiny.
And you should still be able to get the 150 by 150 that way.
Okay, I'm not seeing a 150 by 150.
Do they not have that? I thought they did for the Destiny. I thought I did that the other day. I do. I've got small hoop, regular, medium, and then embroidery hoop 150 by 150.
No, mine says small hoop, regular hoop, medium, large border hoop.
Huh.
Square quilting hoop is 200 by 200.
Pick that.
Okay.
Pick that for now. Yeah, with the smart update, they included a bunch more hoops. So once you do the smart update, you'll have access to those.
Okay. Okay.
How do I make a new folder like for class?
Okay, hang on just a second. Did you get it, Joe?
Yes. No,
Okay.
I'm on some other page here. Saving as a PES file.
Yes. And it should have put the word exported on the end of your title, right?
Yes.
Excellent. So what that means is I've translated it for you into your machine's language. So this is the file you take to the machine.
And so I don't have a folder inside. It'll just go into my designs, right?
Yes, if you haven't created your class folder yet, that is correct. And I think that's what Barb's question is too. How do I create that class folder?
Oh, if I click on my designs, I can see my little house that says Joe next to it.
But
The
have
little
you
house.
created? Oh, good. Yay. That means it's there. Yes, yes, yes. You haven't created a class folder yet though, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so while you're there, before you click save, if you would like, do you see how you're in My Designs right now, right? My Designs is your folder.
Well, yeah, I went ahead and clicked on the little house, but I can go back to that.
Okay, go back to My Designs then.
Okay.
Work your way there. Down in the bottom left-hand corner,
Okay.
see where it says New Folder?
Yes.
You can click New Folder
Okay.
and you can create a new one.
And so we are titling this
Basics Club Class, whatever you want to name it, whatever you'll remember.
Basics Club Class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then you
Create.
probably create it. And is that what shows in your bar now?
Yes.
Awesome. So now you can save your Spring Has Sprung exported there.
Okay.
All right.
Everything went away.
That's comforting, right?
I hope so.
It's all gone. So now if you click on Finder and you click on your house and then you click on Premiere Plus 2 and then My Designs and then Basics Club.
Okay, you're way ahead of me.
Sorry.
I clicked on Finder.
Okay, click on your house.
Well, I don't see my house. But if I go to the Go at the top where it says Finder and that says File and all that, if I go to Go, then I can go to my house.
And then Premiere Plus 2.
And then Premiere Plus 2, My Designs, and then Basics Club Class.
There you go.
Woohoo!
There you go. You know more about your Mac than you think you do. That's awesome. That is awesome. All right. So to create a new folder, Barb, you can do it on the fly as you're saving your design, or you can go to, like now that you've already created your 2 files for class, you can click on Finder. And then
Finder on the computer.
Yeah, you see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this little guy right here is Finder. So I'm going to click on him. Then I'm going to click on my house, which takes me to the base of my files. That takes me to the file cabinet, if you will.
On your stick.
No.
On the computer.
No, not on the stick. This is on the computer.
Okay.
Well, if you wanted to look at your stick, once you click Finder, you would click on your stick right here and you'd be able to see what's on it.
Okay.
And if you wanted to see what's on your computer, you go home and then come to Premiere Plus 2, and then you go to My Designs. And then if you want a new folder in here, for instance, if I wanted to put designs on my computer off of a CD that I bought because I want them to be on here so I can easily open them, I can go, thank you, Joe. I can go File, New Folder, right? So it just made a new folder for me. I have a set of designs here. I actually wanted to show you this. So you guys are just all over it. It's for an Easter garden table runner by Amelia Scott Designs. So I can name it. I always name it exactly what my CD says. Easter garden table runner. And it's AMLIESCOTT. Oops, not Scoop, Scott. Let's try that again. and hit enter. So now I have a new folder in the My Designs folder. So that's how you create a new
On
folder
the computer.
on the computer. You can also do that on your USB stick. If you
Right.
wanted class to
Too
be
easy.
so you can click File and you can click New
New
Folder,
folder.
right? And then this is Basics. Whoop. Can't type anymore. I must have hit the wall too. Club class.
We frazzled you too much.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. So now that I've done that, I can drag them and put them in there.
Cool.
Kaboom. Okay.
I think I'm going to take a break, and then this afternoon I'll get playing.
Sounds good. What other questions do you have? Anybody?
I think you answered.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Hey,
Yeah.
I worked in customer service, and the salesman used to come in for training, and the girls used to have to do it. And my favorite comment was, don't be afraid to ask a question.
Exactly.
We'd rather answer it than have to spend 3 days figuring out what you did wrong and get it corrected. So
much easier to do it right the first time.
Ask, please.
Yep.
There's no stupid questions.
Easier to do it right the first time than to do it over.
Instead of having to fix it.
So this is one of the In the Hoop designs that I told you about. Sorry, I really need to, I need to mirror this, but this is completely stitched out in the hoop, and that's how I store my USB.
Oh, cool.
So I can keep track of them.
Cool.
So that'll be another project that we'll do at some point with
Good.
with our class.
I've got these all over. I finally put them in a box. Some of them are mine. Some of them are my husband's. Some of them I have no clue.
I know. I actually bought a book not too long ago called Taming the Digital Chaos, just to try to get some sort of idea as to how to manage some of this stuff, because
I gotta
these
get
guys take
that.
type, which is why I tend to keep all of my designs on my computer. I can find my laptop. I can't always find these. So I
Right.
use these simply as a method for getting to and from the machine. I don't store on them because there's no way to label them.
Usually they're hanging downstairs in the sewing room, but it's like, what does that belong to?
What's on it? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What was it called? Taming what? The book?
It's something about taming your digital chaos. It's something about
Okay.
digital. I don't remember the exact title, but it's like, okay, how do we manage this mess?
Yeah. I will have to look for that.
All right. Any other questions? If not, I will plan to see you both on March the 23rd at 2 p.m. And you've got my email address. So if you get stuck, let me know and I will try to get back to you and let you know how I can help.
Where is your email address? Oh, right
Well,
there. No,
you should have, yeah.
yes, right there. I can read it.
Well, and you can always reply to the email that I sent you too.
Yeah.
Ivan Treese at email or L Treese.
Actually, it's an L. It's an L for Libby.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay.
All right. Well, happy stitching. So your homework for next time would be for me to see your stitch out of our towel.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I can't get out to get a towel. Can I do it on linen?
You sure can. You sure
Okay.
can. And then you can use your wing needle to hem it and then you'll have made a towel.
Oh my. I'm gonna have to find something that's already made.
That works.
Thank you so much for the worksheets.
You bet.
Yeah.
For all this, because it's nice to be able to go
But you're
over
right.
everything that you've just taught us, and there's just no way I would ever remember all of this.
When
Well,
your brain shuts down, you have somewhere to go.
Yeah, I always try to write write the instructions step by step by step by step. And that's why I didn't send them right away when I said I had them finished, because I know the steps and I have to be careful. I have to make myself slow down and do it per my worksheet to make sure that I've included everything.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you so very much.
You're welcome. You ladies have a great day, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
See you in a month.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you, Libby. Bye, Barb. Nice to
Bye.
work with you guys.